How's it going, guys? It's been a long time since I've done anything really video related. Besides that one playthrough I just put out with my band's new songs. Check that out. Um, my life has been all over the place the last few years, and for all of you that were fans of mine, followed me, all that kind of stuff, I do apologize. If it is something anyone's interested in, please let me know. I'd be happy to make a video talking about it. But I'm back, baby. So I'm really excited to be back doing videos. I want to start doing this more consistently again. Probably not to the level I was before. But anyway, as I said, I just released that playthrough for Breach from my band Deathbringer. Both this YouTube page as well as our band YouTube page. Check that out. But the reason I'm here right now is because of this thing. So if any of you don't know what this is the Dean Gordon Guitars Bolter Virtus. Ironically enough, also being named Dean, I got the very first Virtus, which just kind of panned out in a very odd way. But I really wanted to do a review for this guitar because there really isn't a whole lot of information from players about these things. Not just the Virtus, or Bolter, I just mean Dean's guitars in general. And I can't say enough good things about them. I've had a lot of people asking me, so I figured the easiest thing to do was going to be just make a video of me blabbing about the thing. So first thing, I'll go over specs. I'm going to do some clips and stuff like that. The first thing I'll do is the specs on the guitar. So again, this is the very first Bolter series, and I'll talk a little more about what the Bolter series really means, which in my opinion and my experience with other luthiers, I think it is a genius idea. But so, this is the Virtus model. This is the most basic carved model. He's got the flat, then the semi-carve, which is the one you can get a top on, or the full carve. So this is the flat top, just one volume, has a 5-way pickup selector in it. It came with Sentient and Pegasus Seymour Duncans. I swapped them out for my personal favorites, which were a Nazgul and a covered jazz in the neck. Not that there's anything wrong, I play really well with the Nazgul in the bridge because it has a lot of mid-range bite to it. Anyway, that's not something he did. So it's got quarter sawn maple neck with a 12 to 16 inch radius, which I can't even explain how comfortable this thing is. The radius is so comfortable. So when I got this guitar, it was in standard. I brought it home and I immediately restrung it with, we use a really weird tuning where it's drop B, but the top two strings are only a half step apart. So I'm running 60 to 15, I think. So it's like a 16 and 15 on the top. But I literally filed out the nut a little bit so I could fit the strings in there, put it in there. I didn't have to touch anything. This thing was so solid that it went all the way down to B. No problems. Only thing I adjusted was a little bit of the intonation, but neck didn't move, nothing moved. It was phenomenal. Ebony fretboard, stainless steel frets. It's 24 frets. It's got Hipshot open gear locking tuners, which are really cool looking. Graphtec nut, mahogany body. Pretty standard in terms of what you get from guitars. Nothing crazy like a fan fret, which I know he's talking about doing that as well. So let's talk about the Bolter series and what this really is. So I've dealt with a lot of luthiers in the past, small guys, bigger companies, all kinds of things. And the biggest issue that I've personally experienced, and a lot of my friends that are into boutique high-end guitars experience, is they bite off more than they can chew and they tank. And there's a lot of companies I can mention that have done that, some of which I have tried to work with in the past and got completely screwed. And they all seem to have this same concept where they get to a certain level and all of a sudden it's like, okay, what if we do a run of semi-customs? Where it's, you can pick a couple of the specs and blah, 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 and then they'll bust out a group of guitars. A lot of them seem to pretty much fall apart right after that idea starts to come to fruition. So Dean did it a little differently. He didn't do a semi-custom. This is his guitar. He picks everything. He picked specs, wood selection, pickups, everything about it. He picks it so they're all the same thing. There's no little differences that anyone has to worry about, like, oh, I wanted this or that, or different pickup in the bridge or different selections. It's like, no, this is what you get, because you're essentially getting a $5,000 to $6,000 guitar for a third of the price. I think the Bolters are like around 2,500 is what he has them. I'm sure they're going to fluctuate as he does more and more runs of them. But he said they'll be between like 5 and 7 or 5 and 10 guitars each time. And same thing. He's going to pick each one. There will be different colors, different everything will change here and there just to have slightly different guitars. But every one of them will have the same thing. The only difference will be the body shape. Is he'll do Miras and Virtus. At least that's what he did for the first one. I don't know if everyone's going to have both body styles on it. So let's talk about Dean. So I've talked to Dean online for probably over a decade, just here and there periodically. When he was up in New York, we would occasionally just talk, shoot the shit. He moved down here to Florida. He's only about 2 hours away from me a few years ago. And I'd always wanted to go and meet him, talk to him, see his shop and all that stuff. So something had come up with this very first Virtus. And we were just, again, talking. He brought it up. And I was like, you know what? I got tomorrow off. I've been having a lot of stuff going on. I'm like, I'm just going to come over. So I drove 2 hours to Dean's place. We hung out in his shop for about 2 hours, just shooting it and talking. I've repaired and worked on guitars most of my life. I used to be the main tech at the biggest music store that was here in Southwest Florida for years. So I'm really into the technical aspects of everything when it comes to guitars. I modify most of my guitars. But he's an absolute mad scientist. He made me feel like I knew nothing. Not in a mean way, but just talking to him, I was like, oh, you're like on a completely different level of understanding. We talked about Ken Parker, which was really cool because I've owned Parkers in the past. I actually just sold one off not long ago. So, one thing that he brought up I thought was really cool was the headstock. He has the headstock angled, I think it was 1 degree more than what the Parker Flies were, because that allows it to not need a string tree, which is really small little detail, but I think it was really cool. The body shape, the way that it sits, this Virtus is, and I've played live shows with it as well as obviously sitting and recording. I don't think I've picked up another guitar since I got this thing, really. But the way this thing sits and balances is unbelievable. On stage, it was so comfortable. I could have been up there for 6 hours and I wouldn't have had any problems. I think this one came in at 5.6 or 5.8 pounds. But again, you're getting the same level of high-end boutique hand-built guitars. He's just finding a way to kind of cut the fat and get not entry, I don't want to say entry level because this is not anything close to an entry level guitar. It's an ability for someone like me is a perfect situation because again, I'm going to go play live shows with it and do all this stuff, carry it around. I'm not worried about dropping it or it getting a ding or on stage hitting something. It's perfect. And just to give you, again, an idea, I had this guitar for I think 3 weeks, and then I immediately started selling gear that I had hunted down for years so I could fund a full custom that I commissioned, which I can't wait for that guy to come in. But yeah, you're looking at something that's the same level of a higher end LTD or an Ibanez, and you're getting a completely hand-built, meticulous piece of art. It's not even a guitar. Again, every part of this thing has been unbelievably comfortable. The other cool thing he does is this as soon as I posted, I got all these questions. This weird aluminum lower horn. It's pretty cool because, first of all, it cuts off on weight so that all this wood that would be here isn't there. So again, this thing weighs nothing. And it's really comfortable. And it gives you this fret access that I've never experienced or even seen on another guitar, where if you wanted to, you could go all the way down and touch the bridge pickup from where the fret access is. Yeah, I can't possibly say enough good things about this. The way he does cut kind of these little bit of costs so that he can produce more guitars and do this Bolter series It's not taking anything away from him or what he's doing. He has complete control and oversight over every step of the way. What it is he has, again, bulk of, say, 7 guitars, where, okay, they're all going to be same neck, same fretboard, same body shape, same paint, same everything. So he can kind of do them in bulk. And then he has another luthier that comes in and kind of helps with the smaller stuff. Like, he could sand a body or prep things while Dean works on either other parts of these bolters or on his custom orders. But he still does all the, meticulous thing, like fret installation, all that stuff. He's on top of it. Anything that anyone else does on these guitars, again, they are just in one shop, so he's right there. He's paying attention to everything that happens. And I can tell you right now from, again, playing other high-end boutique guitars, this 100% feels like it would be a $5,000 guitar, just the way it plays, the way it sits, the way it sounds, everything about it. So I'm going to do some sound clips, I guess, on this thing. I'll do like a clean low gain and like heavy gain on it. But I'm telling you guys right now, if you have any interest whatsoever, you need to go sign up for this Bolter series. I don't know how many he's going to do. I think when we talked, he said it might be 1 a year, maybe 2 a year. But it is the perfect entry level into getting into a really nice high-end boutique guitar. And if you're anything like me, if you buy one, you're immediately going to want to turn around and sell all your other guitars so you can buy a full custom. But yeah, let's get into it, and I'll do a couple little sound clips, and after that, I will see you guys later.